everything one would have said is impossible in Bangladesh has become possible in the last few months. For instance, when the film Mujib, The Making of a Nation was released across Bangladesh in October 2023, Mujib, The Making of a Nation is incidentally the last film of Sham Benegal. Amidst much fanfare, one would have not been able to imagine that barely a year later, statues of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman would be pulled down across Bangladesh, and soon after, 32 Dhanmondi, his official residence would be attacked, bulldozed, and be reduced to a rubble. Neither could people have predicted about Bangladesh that Sheikh Hasina, when she came back to power for a historic fourth term in office on January 7, 2024, would have to flee her country, a country she ruled for 15 straight years, soon after, a couple of months later, and take refuge in Bangladesh. Also, perhaps nobody would have been able to predict that arch rivals in Bangladesh politics, Bangladesh Nationalist Party and Sheikh Hasina's party, the Awami League, would come closer. But they are coming closer, and it's all happening because of one person and one person alone, the caretaker to the interim government of Bangladesh, Muhammad Yunus. Now, Muhammad Yunus has been in power in Bangladesh for past 6 months and counting. Nobody knows when the next round of elections in Bangladesh will take place. The Yunus administration has said that it depends on the electoral reforms and several other reforms that the interim government has planned, which could take, which could push the elections to any time between the end of this year or early next year. Most recently, Yunus administration has reiterated that in all probability, elections will be held in Bangladesh towards the end of 2025. This is what's bothering not just the Awami League, which is suddenly out of power, but also the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, which its leaders and cadre feel that if the next round of elections are held, it will sweep to power. Now, starting February, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party has planned a whole host of programs, protest marches across Bangladesh to talk about rising prices, deteriorating law and order situation in the country, and also to push for elections. And parallelly, the Awami League has announced a slew of programs on a list of almost similar demands. One of the demands, which is different, of course, is to take away the murder cases against Sheikh Hasina and other top leaders of Awami League that has been filed in the International Crimes Tribunal. But the Awami League protest programs, basically wants to talk about the resignation of the Yunus government. Now see how similar these two protest programs held coincidentally in February are. One wants Yunus to step down, the other is demanding elections right away. Now, if you have followed Bangladesh politics, it is most unlikely that the Bangladesh Nationalist Party and the Awami League have hit the road together, parallelly have hit the road, and to demand the resignation or early election from the same government, because when Awami League was in power, it was the BNP that would do the same, that would hit the road and ask the Awami League to step down, saying that it's an illegal government and it has taken siege of the country, and Sheikh Hasina is running the party illegally. So it's ironical that now these two arch rivals have come together to protest against the Yunus administration. And that's not all. In 2004, there was a grenade attack, a costly attack that killed many Awami League leaders and workers, injured several others, and Sheikh Hasina, it was targeted at Sheikh Hasina reportedly. Sheikh Hasina escaped. But one of the principal convicted in the attack was Tariq Rahman, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party's acting chairperson, who is now in London. Now, one would have thought that given this animosity between the Bangladesh Nationalist Party and the Awami League, BNP leaders and workers would have celebrated the fall of the house of Sheikh Mujib, Thanmundi 32. But the BNP issued a statement soon after the destruction of the house of Mujib, and said that the Yunus administration should take matters in its hands, should look at the deteriorating law and order situation in the country, and not let anarchy prevail. You would have expected widespread celebration among BNP's rank and file, but that has not happened. I spoke to Bangladesh political journalist Shahidul Hassan Khokon, who told me that yes, they are arch rivals, but given what's happening in Bangladesh currently, which is an unelected government, the Yunus government is holding on to power and keeping on postponing the date of the next round of elections. The BNP and Awami League have realized that if they have to push for electoral democracy in the country, they will have to see to it that Muhammad Yunus steps down and the next round of elections are held. This has brought these two arch rivals together, and as surprising as it is, it's the new reality of Bangladesh.